If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Yo, this man Lil Baby is playing cause he just forgot to send in another verse that would have landed him a spot on like a really hot song with some pretty high tier artists in the game. So what exactly happened is that Lil Baby posted a TikTok, which he doesn't do a lot. You know, there's only like 3 or 4 TikToks on his TikTok account. I didn't even know he had one, but he posted this TikTok. You know, he's sitting somewhere getting his hair cut at the barber, and then he previews a audio snippet in the background of him having a verse or having a part on the track Bubbly, which is straight off of Young Thug's brand new album Punk, that also featured Drake and Travis Scott on the same track on Bubbly, and that track goes hard. You know, that's probably the hardest track on the whole album, while the rest of the album is very mellow. I dropped my review on it. Y'all can go watch that. I like the album quite a bit, and I also like that track Bubbly, but apparently Lil Baby was supposed to be on here because in this TikTok, he's previewing this snippet, which does sound pretty hard, and it says, when Young Thug sends you a song for his album and you forget to send it back. And this is not the first time that this has happened to Lil Baby. Back in 2020, he was also supposed to be on Drake's Tootsie Slide, which was a really big hit because TikTok was just starting to pop off and people were doing these dance moves, and Drake had the whole left foot up, right foot slide, all that. So, you know, Lil Baby would have gotten a really big chance to be on one of the hottest songs in the country, but I guess he was just too busy wrapping up his own album, My Turn, at that point, which was of course a very big success for him and boosted his career to yet another level. But again, he missed the chance to be on a track together with Drake. That's not to, you know, say that he doesn't do collaborations with Drake. They, you know, collaborate on Yes Indeed, on Never Recover, on, for example, also Wants and Needs and Girls Love Girls. So the two of them, you know, have a history of doing songs together, but Lil Baby could have been on so many big songs. That's just impossible to imagine. I don't know what's up with the guy. Is he just too busy all the time to forget to send the biggest artist in the world a verse? Like, what's up with this man? I mean, in this case, it was Thugger, it wasn't Drake directly, but still, you know, a lot of people were expecting Baby to be on Punk because Young Thug and Baby have a long history going back many years where Thugger, you know, convinced Lil Baby to take rap seriously, that he could have another way of making money other than trapping. You know, he could rap, and that's what even led Lil Baby down the path of now being one of the hottest rappers in the game right now. So we all got to thank Thug for that, for the Lil Baby we have today, which is undoubtedly one of the, you know, hardest rappers out there right now. But I'm just trying to imagine what goes on in this man's mind when he has a track on Thugger's new album with Travis Scott and Drake on there, which you know is about to be like a pretty big song, and he recorded the verse. It's not like he just forgot about the song. He recorded the verse, but then he forgot to send the track back. There's probably a lot more layers involved in this, you know, his management team, people like QC and stuff like that, that probably are to blame for this, because somebody could have reminded him like, yo, you had that one verse on Thugger's new album with Drake and Travis, like, you got to send that in. But in the end, you know, it's still him that needs to push and get this thing wrapped up and have his part on there. And I would have loved to see a Lil Baby part on that track. I would have loved to see a Lil Baby part on that Thugger album in general. The last time that Baby was featured on one of Thugger's tracks, it was on Slam Language 2 on Paid the Fine, and Lil Baby, that verse is still one of probably my favorite verse off of Slam Language 2 to this day, because it just shows some more evolution in Lil Baby. He's going hard, rapping about some real things. So when Baby gets on those more mellow tracks, that's when he can really shine. So even if it wasn't Bubbly, I would have loved to see him on one of these songs that was on Thugger's Punk. I do want to talk about artists forgetting to send in a verse for a second though, because remember when Trippie Redd was supposed to be on God's Plan, but then he just never came through and forgot to send the verse. Well, God's Plan was probably Drake's biggest song to date. That thing has like over 1 billion streams on Spotify and everywhere else. The video went crazy, and if Trippie would have gotten that track back in 2018, maybe his whole career would have taken a different turn, but he just forgot to send it in. And again, this is like, what are these people thinking that they don't send a verse to Drake. That's probably the single best way to market your music, is to have a Drake feature or to be featured on a Drake song. Now, there's also another example. For example, Rod Wave. He was supposed to be on, now I can't remember which track, but one of Drake's newest tracks. I think it was Lemon Pepper Freestyle that Rod Wave was supposed to be on. And Rod Wave willingly said, no, I'm not gonna do this, because if it's meant to be, then it'll happen again. But right now, he's not prepared yet to hop on a track with Drake. And as I said, he said that if it's meant to happen, then it'll happen again. And that is a very mature way to approach it, where you actually think about the opportunity you have right now, and then you're like, nope, I'm not prepared for this right now. I'm not like in the position to do this right now, but if it's meant to happen, then it'll happen again. But in Lil Baby's case, you know, he said himself, and you forget to send it back, that's just his own fault. So that's crazy to me, man. If Lil Baby was on Bubbly, that track would go 100 times harder. You can't tell me that's not the case. So really sad that we didn't see this collaboration come true. I do hope though that Thugger and Baby collaborate in the future again. Probably will be so. The next chance we got is Lil Baby's upcoming album Lamborghini Boys, or whatever he decides to do with it. He also said about that album that he wants to write the whole thing himself, that he's not like in the studio just, you know, freestyling, going off the top. He's rather sitting down and writing each verse for himself, which he's never done before. So I do have quite some high expectations for this upcoming new record from Lil Baby, and we'll probably see a Thugger feature on there as well. But I would have loved to see Lil Baby on Punk. You know, some of these tracks that Thugger did solo on here that were really mellow, that you know, were like some chill vibes, Lil Baby would have killed a verse on there. And that's, I think, Lil Baby, you know, everybody says like he's the best when he goes his hardest, like on Bubbly, for example. But when Lil Baby has like an instrumental that he can just rap over, that he can just spit over and just say whatever he wants to, I think that's when he's at his best. Like that feature he did for Thugger on Sign Language 2, Paid the Fine, which if you haven't listened to that, you got to go listen to that. So yeah, that's the situation. Lil Baby forgot to send in a verse on Bubbly. If you want to hear his part, or at least a part of his part, or from his verse, you can go to Lil Baby's TikTok and check it out, because it did sound pretty hard, and I'm sad that it didn't, you know, become a reality that we heard Lil Baby on Bubbly. But still, I enjoy Punk a whole lot. Go check out my review on that. Also listen to Bubbly with Travis Scott and Drake, and then imagine a Lil Baby verse in your head, because obviously that didn't come true. Really sad, but excited for what Lil Baby has coming up next. If we do learn anything more about Lil Baby's upcoming projects like Lamborghini Boys or whatever, then make sure you're subscribed, because I'll be one of the first ones to give y'all some information, update y'all. That's my opinion. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for anything Lil Baby got coming up? What do you think about this whole situation with people forgetting to send verses to big artists and missing out on opportunities like that? Being at Lil Baby twice now, being a Trippie Redd for God's Plan, or Rod Wave on Lemon Pepper Freestyle, all of that. Let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.